Finished an entire series in one summer. Sometimes you'll see some of these books were a little bit on the easier side for her grade level. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I am Lori and I am back with going over some more book ideas for your children to read. To the channel, I am one of the twins and I am a mom of two girls, and I just finished our second year of homeschooling. And I wanted to share videos and sharing with all of you. I've done a few videos sharing read aloud books that I've been reading to my kids, and also some bedtime devotions that I do with them. I love just sharing what books I'm reading and what books my kids are reading, because I love learning from other moms who share what books they're either reading as a family or what books their kids are reading independently. So last time I shared what my second grader, my 7-year-old, is reading for her independent books. So today's video I'm going to be sharing what my third grader, who is 9 years old, what books she is reading at her independent time. I'm starting off with some of the books that she read through the summer, this past summer, heading into her third grade year. These were books, actually, these first ones, is a 20-book series. These, Sophie Mouse, I first read these as a read aloud to my kids, I think 2 years ago, maybe even 3 years ago, around there. They loved it so much that Madison, my oldest, was like, I'm going to put those in her own cubbies, and she wants to read them herself, which I just absolutely love. So she did. She read them all summer. She finished an entire series in one summer. Amazing, amazing books. I told you right now there's 20 of them in this series. It's about a cute little mouse, Sophie, and her friends and her family. Each book is a standalone. You don't need the other whole series to understand it is a read-alone, but it does. Each characters are kind of in each book, so you kind of grow in loving each character and what's happening in each one. But great stories. These are perfect transitional chapter books, which is great for her. She's a great, strong reader, but she always doesn't love to read. So sometimes you'll see some of these books were a little bit on the easier side for her grade level, but she needed that. But then I mix in some more challenging books, a little bit stretches her vocabulary. So I kind of like to do a mix for her. My other daughter loves to read, even if it's challenging for her. With this daughter, even though she's super great reader, she doesn't always love to read. So I really also have to find books that really excite her, which I finally found some books that did. So I'll make sure I share which ones really excited her, which ones didn't excite her. And if you have a daughter or a son who is a good reader but doesn't always love to read, make sure you hit the like button to let me know that I am not alone in this journey of getting your kids to fall in love with reading. And make sure, again, you follow me over on Instagram. I'm at Lori and Michelle over there. Michelle, my twin, and I, we share an account over there. But I share a lot of in the moment of homeschooling stuff and books that my kids are reading or that I'm reading to my kids, just to kind of stay up to date with me. But back to this. This is a great transitional book because there's almost a picture on literally every page, which is great. And the font is a decent sized font, so it's not overwhelming to them. And again, the vocab is a good vocabulary. It's not too strong that they get like super frustrated with, but there's some in there that will also just kind of like challenge them and advance their vocabulary. So highly recommend these for a great, great transition book, because you'll see some of these other books I'll be sharing, the font gets smaller and there's less and less pictures. So again, this is a good transitional book. So the next book series, this one was another one I found across other people off Instagram, and I always just high note, that's why I'm also sharing these in case you just want to bookmark, oh, I want to get that book and see if it's worth it. It's the Lighthouse Family series, and I don't really remember how many of the book in this series. I think I have like 8 of them. So there's like 8 or so in this series. They are great books. At first, this is one of those books that my daughter, from transitioning to this book was a challenge for her on some of the vocabulary. But I love that this series really used bigger words. Not only was she having to learn to pronounce those words, but also asking, what does this mean, Mom? So her vocabulary was expanded. But it also, being her, she got frustrated. She wanted to give up. Like when we first started reading this series, it was biting teeth and nail to get her to sit down and read these books. But she ended up loving them. I ended up getting almost all of them, and she enjoyed them. She read them. So she finally got through that hurdle. This has a decent amount of pictures in it. The font size is a little bit smaller compared to Sophie Mouse, but the storylines are really great. Again, it's about different adventures that these new family kind of forms and who they help in it. But it's challenging, has a little bit more challenging vocabulary. Again, she was kind of ending second grade, going into third grade. It gives you a little frame. So definitely second grade, third grade readers could read this book as well. The next book that she also read, I got from another mom, was from Beverly Lewis. And it's a series. I told us that kids, I'm going to see if she likes these books. I told you I'm always trying to find books that challenge her but also excite her to read. 6 stories and 1 big book. So there's 6 independent stories within this one thing. She read it again at start. She wasn't so sure she was going to like this book, but she ended up reading it, and she actually ended up liking it. Each character is kind of in each book. So you get the similar characters throughout the storyline, but just different, again, obstacles or situations in each storyline. So like I said, like she wasn't so sure about this one, but the more she read it, she actually really started to enjoy it. The next story that she read that also is an independent book. It's a standalone book. It was challenging for her. She again got the first couple nights, she was, I don't want to read this book. I don't want to read this book. We're like, no, we're going to read it. We'll take it slow. Is Sable. But she ended up loving the book by the end of it. She was really enjoyed it, and so I know her sister's really excited to read it. But again, it has different vocabulary, different way it's written, so that was a little bit of a challenge for her. I recommend it, but it's only 1 book series. Again, it's about a girl and a dog, and a great storyline, a little bit more challenging vocabulary. Another book that I got from another mom, I think this book has a few in this series, but again, they're independently storyline. I only got the first one, but it was this book by Tim Davis. This is one of the books that would not, maybe 1 thumbs up, not 2, compared to all the other ones were 2. This would be a 1 thumbs up. The storyline's not horrible. There is a little bit more slang writing in this because they're kind of like on a pirate ship. So that really frustrated her. She didn't understand the slang. She didn't really know how to read the slang. Obviously, I think it was helpful to her to understand and know of it and be aware of it. Still a general cute storyline, nothing necessarily bad in it that I won't recommend. So this book wasn't one of our favorites. You can try it out yourself and see if your kid likes it. Your kid might like it. I'm going to let my other daughter read it. I'm curious if she'll end up liking it. Because again, in general, it's not a bad storyline. It's just the slang and the wording was a little bit challenging for my daughter, so she just got super frustrated. Another series that I know so many people are aware of is the Imagination Station. They again have so many books, just like the Magic Treehouse series, so many books. So I just kind of pick and choose. I try to pick and choose books that kind of go with our CC. We do classical conversations as our main homeschooling, so I try to find books that go with that. So we did American history, so I found like ones like this. This one's The Redcoats Are Coming, and I had a few others. She's read the first, I think, 4 books of the Imagination Station, and she overall liked them because they're similar to when she was reading Secret of the Hidden Scrolls.
But she liked those better.
Right. So she didn't really get into these. They are, again, a great storylines, good vocabulary, easy to read, decent sized font, have pictures in it occasionally to keep the interest going, but she herself couldn't really get into these. Again, it was almost like a struggle for her to get down and really read these stories. But I know they get great raves, so I know they're probably a hit or miss. But again, they're overall good book series. If you're looking for something like, I don't want my kid to read, you can always check the Imagination Station out because they are in general good books. You don't have to worry about something in there that you don't want to be in there. The next series is the Boxcar Children, which again, I know it's a really well-known series as well. I struggled for some reason finding the first 4 books at her grade level. I found these ones for my younger daughter when she was in 1st grade. These little easy-to-read books, but I made Madison read them even though she's in 3rd grade. Super baby books for her, but it gave her the storyline of get used to the characters to build her up for the next few books. So, side note that. I couldn't find them, and some of them I did find of the first 4. They were super expensive, so I should have tried my library before, but I didn't in the moment, so that was my mistake. But I did find the books 5, 6, 7, and 8 in her grade level, and again, she overall enjoyed them. She kind of got into these stories, but not so much as some of the other books. So again, it was a thumbs and a half type of series.
How did she like it compared to the Imagination Station?
I would say my daughter probably kind of liked these the same. Like, and again, they're good storylines. Like, there's nothing that's too crazy that you need to be worried about. Depends, like, what you know.
They're outrageous, but not like some of these.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So she liked them, but I don't know. I think the Boxcar again has quite a bit in it, like the Imagination Station. I don't plan on buying any more than what the first 8 books because I found other series and other books I wanted to get and see if those get her excited for it. The reason why I'm still sharing the Boxcar Children and the Imagination Station and some of these others, they weren't a huge, wow, these are amazing books, page turner type of books for my daughter and her independent reading, but it might work for your kids. So again, you can still look into them for yourself if you haven't already. The next series is Lulu, 6-book series, and it's about a little girl who loves animals. In each story, she's like rescuing a different animal and has a different story with it. And I really enjoyed these. My daughter did too. I got another great book for a 2nd grader or even a 3rd grader, which cute storyline, good font size, not too small but not too big. So again, challenging but not overwhelmingly challenging. There's not too many pictures, once every so often. So again, it's another great like transitional book to really get used to going into like a no picture book type of thing. But I do recommend these. These were super cute stories. Another book that I got, someone shared me, these are like more simplified versions of her story. Madison really enjoyed these. I was more surprised at how much she enjoyed it. So I'm excited to read the older version of her storyline with my daughters. I probably have it lined up right now to be as a read aloud. So having these in the background, she'll already be introduced to some of the characters and what the storyline is about. These are a little bit more easier to read, so they could be definitely a 2nd grade level book, possibly even 1st grade, depending on how strong your reader is. Because again, there's usually one picture and then a page of font. So, but I told you I like to mix in her books some easy books with some hard books to keep her getting excited for reading. I don't mind that, even though it's probably a grade level down than what she needs. Like I said, this is probably 1st, 2nd grade book. Next 2 books, one was a super challenging book, but she read it all. This is what she read a good bit of the school year this year. And she got to watch the movie when she was done with it, was Where the Red Fern Grows. And this is a super, I can't know if you can tell across, a super old book, because this is my husband's book, the book he read when he was about my daughter's age. And again, we're a dog family. We love dogs, and we read it with her. She read most of it, but Gary and I would help her out every once in a while. But she read majority of it. Really, really enjoyed it. Again, this is like a standard book. Really small font. Barely any pictures. I don't even know if it has any pictures, actually. Let me see. No pictures. So a no picture book. So, but she loved it. I mean, most people know the story. Heart-wrencher story, but she got to read the book, watch the movie afterwards, so she might one day reread it because she really, really enjoyed it. And I was really proud of her for reading such a challenging book. So I like that. Her current book that she's currently reading is the Ramona series. This was another book recommendation that I got from another mom that she said her daughters really enjoyed. I was like, okay, I'm going to try it on mine. It's recommended for ages 8 to 12-year-olds. My daughter is 9 years old as she's reading it, and it's perfect for her. Like, perfect vocabulary, a little bit of challenging, but not too challenging. And it's humorous, and she really likes it. I told you I've been struggling, you can see throughout these stories, hit or missing of really grabbing her attention and really getting her excited to read each night, and these have done it again. And I didn't know if I could top Where the Red Fern Grows, because she was always so excited to get picked that storyline. But these books have brought it. She gets excited to read. She reads these quickly each night. She doesn't even ask me that much for help, because she's just like reading the pages because she's just so excited and really likes the storylines. They're very well written, Beverly Clearly books. I highly recommend these two for young girls. Super fun stories. Like some of the mystery books, but she definitely likes books that just have a cute little humorous storyline, and this series definitely has that. Those are the books currently that my 3rd grader read through her 3rd grade year, and I have a lot more planned. Make sure you stay tuned, subscribe to Michelle and I's channel, because I have more books coming your way of what they hope to read again for the next few years, and I have tons more read aloud books to share with all of you. I hope this has been helpful in serving you and giving you ideas of what to give your kids to read and not, or things to look into, or things to invest in or to not really invest in. And make sure you can check out your libraries to see if any of your libraries have this. I'm also a part of a living learning library, which is so awesome. All the books are safe, because I'm a Christian and I like to have very safe books for my kids to read, and so she does at her library. So I know she has a lot of these books on hand, and my kids have checked out a few of her library books and I've read them that I don't have here, because we have to return them back to the library. But if any of them really stand out, I will make sure to share with you guys. But again, I hope this has been a blessing. Thank you so much for watching this video. I know it's probably a long one, so I was blabbering on about each book, but I hope it was helpful for you. And like and subscribe, and I will be back with more videos. Bye!